You're a real piece of work, you know that?
The large butch takes a deep breath in eager anticipation as she leans over the counter to caress the ripe cucumber she has bought on clearance at Kroger.
I know just what I'm gonna call you.
She whispers.
Michael. Yes. That sounds like a fine name, Michael.
This is a weekly routine for her. After a long week of retreading tires at O'Malley's, she treats herself to a cheap phallic vegetable. She is pleased she found Michael for only 38 cents.
Mm-hmm. A middle-aged woman says as she too grabs a juicy cucumber from her cart and holds it near her crotch, nodding knowingly and winking. It isn't the insertion that does it for Billy Joe, though. Taking the juicy cucumber home and slicing it up in pieces helps her get back at her bastard uncle. Fucker's sausage fingers and Tootsie Roll winker are the reason she's been eating carpet since 14. And before you say, ew, she was sexual at 14, you too were 14 and horny.
On the outside, Billy Joe stares back at the middle-aged woman stone-faced, but on the inside, her heart is pumping exorbitant amounts of blood to her oversized, might as well be a penis clitoris.
You too?
She says as she places Michael back into her cart, flexing the bicep that her sleeveless shirt so generously displayed.
I didn't know I had tickets to the gun show,
Georgina says in response. She tips her gray fedora and introduces herself.
Georgina, milady.
She takes Billy Joe's hand and kisses it lightly. Not in a way that is too forward, but in a classy way that might make a man at a restaurant stand up and bow in response.
Billy Joe,
she grunts as she sniffs her hand for Georgina's scent.
How kind of you, sir. Ma'am? Sir? Ma'am? Sir?
Georgina continues to stumble over her pronouns for a second until Billy Joe places one finger over Georgina's lips and says,
Ma'am.
Georgina's eyes cross to focus on Billy Joe's finger as her mouth grows into a devious smile.
Ma'am, is it?
Georgina says, followed with a large inhale.
Georgina! How many times have I told you not to text during the movie?
Billy Joe screams at her wife. It had been a whirlwind romance. A fateful meeting in the produce section for two late-in-life lesbians. Their chemistry was undeniable, and their love of cucumbers, their insertion, and their mutilation was a binding factor that nothing could break. Nothing, that is, except 10 years of marriage.
Georgina rolls her eyes at Billy Joe and continues texting. Why should she have to put her phone down and stop texting when Billy can't even put on fucking deodorant? In the beginning, sure, she had armpit hair, but at least when Georgina licked her armpit as if it was a second slit, it tasted like Old Spice Renegade. But now this bitch really expects Georgina to lick her nasty, nearly infected, ingrown armpit hairs without deodorant? The nerve, Billy! Before Georgina could finish her thought, Billy Joe smacked her upside the head with her ring finger, leaving an indentation of 1989, the year Billy Joe graduated high school.
You're missing Kristen Stewart. You know she's my hall pass,
Billy Joe says as she digs the day's pad off her genitals and starts rubbing.
Ew, that reeks!
Georgina says as she stands up and goes to the restroom. She looks at the mark on her face.
You left a red mark! You fucking bitch!
She says as she squirts some lotion into her hands and gently rubs the area. From the living room, Billy Joe groans as Kristen Stewart fucks Robert Pattinson on screen.
As Georgina wipes her face and attempts to cover up what must be the 6th 1989 imprint she's gotten this month, Billy Joe opens her pack of Newport Menthol 100s absentmindedly, only to find out there's none left.
Hey babe! Go pick me up a pack of smokes!
She screams into the next room while fishing for a half-smoked cigarette out of an ashtray overflowing like a blooming onion.
And while you're out, why don't you try to find a better attitude?
Billy Joe chuckles to herself.
That was a good one.
She thinks, lighting her week-old cigarette.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Georgina thinks to herself.
I'm not fucking going anywhere.
She walks out to the hallway where a custom oversized cucumber cuckoo clock hangs on the wall. Georgina manipulates the hands on the clock and sets it to 2:59. Billy Joe gags at the disgusting taste of her old cigarette.
Georgie!
At 3 o'clock on the dot, the custom cucumber clock plays an intricate tune, and a small cucumber juts out of an opening at the top.
It's cucumber time,
Georgina states simply.
Billy Joe puts out her cigarette and her eyes glaze over. She stands up robotically and quickly takes a few steps to the bedroom. Billy Joe's eyes stare blankly ahead without blinking as her mouth stands agape. Georgina steps into the room and closes the door and dims the light.
Remove your pants,
Georgina states. Without hesitation, Billy Joe drops her ripped-up jean shorts.
Now squat and give it to me.
Billy Joe squats down and squeezes so hard her face turns beet red. Georgina removes a basket from the closet and lays it under Billy Joe's rotten vagina. Before long, a cucumber has made its way half out. Georgina impatiently removes the rest of it and rests it in the basket.
2 more,
Georgina says as Billy Joe forces 2 more cucumbers out of her cavity. The viscous cucumbers need dappled with a moist towelette. Billy Joe's flow has been heavier than expected this month. When Georgina has cleaned off the first cucumber, she hands it to Billy Joe, who immediately eviscerates it with a knife and screams,
"Fuck you, Uncle Tim!"
at the bits. Billy Joe's therapeutic tears give Georgina the cover she needs. Georgina looks down at her phone.
Where are you at?
Georgina fires off a quick text
Sliced cucumber emoji.
and puts it on Do Not Disturb. She grabs the briefcase out of the closet and enters the combination.
Georgina gathers the sliced up bits of cucumbers and places them in a hefty Ziploc bag and places it inside the empty briefcase. She grabs it and exits the room quietly, making a beeline for the kitchen cabinet. She grabs the bottle of vinegar on the top shelf and pours 3 cups of vinegar in the bag, seals it shut, and places it back in the briefcase.
On my way,
She responds back. She always hated that OMW did that, but she was in a hurry.
Shifty Eyes Go Wild pulls the collar of his coat up higher and backs his car into a dark alley. He's been here many times, but tonight is a special night. The cukes have been harvested. Georgina was about to get $25,000 per cucumber, and they're gone. It was just like Tracy Chapman sang.
You got a fast car. I got a plan to get us out of here.
Luckily for Shifty, the other common wisdom is also true. If a lesbian has sex with the right guy, she'll be straight. And for Georgina, Shifty Eyes Go Wild is that man.
Jesus, Georgina.
Shifty says with disgust.
You've got 1989 on your face again. It's the last time, Shug. Well, I sure as fuck hope so.
Shifty dips his hands under Georgina's leggings and is midway through her pubes when a black Rolls-Royce limousine backs into the adjacent spot. An entourage hops out of the back and opens Shifty's passenger side, escorting Georgina and the briefcase into the back of a limo. Bill Clinton sits across from her with a wide smile on his face.
I assume you got the cukes.
He says with his signature raspy voice.
I sure do.
Georgina pops the briefcase open really sly and cool, like in the gangster movies, and she smiles to herself. This is a personal victory she and Shifty had practiced 1,000,000 times. From his car, Shifty pumps the air and a muffled, "Hell yeah!" can be heard. Former President Clinton reaches out and snatches the cukes, unzips the bag, and huffs the fumes like the man Deputy Brent warned us about who huffed gasoline to the point of mental retardation. He pulls out his phone and FaceTimes a contact.
Epstein, got the cukes. Man, this party is going to be off the hook.
Bill says as he shakes the devil fist at the phone's camera. As a geriatric man, Bill turns the phone physically instead of flipping the FaceTime camera internally, allowing Georgina to see the man on the screen.
Is that Jeffrey Epstein?
Georgina says, shocked. Before anyone could address Georgina's question, a beat-up Dodge truck careens to a stop at the end of the alley, blocking the exit of both vehicles. The door opens, and out steps Billy Joe.
Epstein, gotta go.
Former President Bill Clinton says as he hands his phone to the Secret Service agent sitting next to him.
Is he with you?
He says to Georgina. Embarrassed, Georgina says,
It's a she, and no, not anymore. Georgina! I know you're fucking in there! Just wait till I get my hands on you, you no good, godforsaken piece of shit dyke!
Billy Joe attempts to show off her brute-like strength by banging on the Rolls-Royce's double-enforced, bulletproof windows, causing former President Bill Clinton to flinch. Meanwhile, Shifty's in the car watching all of this happen and about to shit a brick. He ducks down so Billy Joe can't see him.
Get out and deal with her, or the deal's off.
Bill says as a Secret Service agent grabs Georgina by the shoulders and forces her out of the limo's sunroof. Georgina stands atop the limo and looks down at Billy Joe.
This who you're always texting? Huh?
Billy Joe says as she brandishes a pistol and bangs on President Clinton's limo some more.
Quit it, Billy Joe!
I'm just trying to make some extra money,
Georgina says. Billy Joe considers this for a second and then frantically sniffs the air. She presses her nose against the limo and picks up the scent.
With my cukes?
Billy Joe screams. She cocks the pistol and aims at the window.
Billy Joe, I'm warning you. That's not a good idea.
Oh yeah? Well, neither was you thinking you could pull a fast one on me. Say hello to my little friend!
Billy Joe always wanted to say that. Georgina cringes. Billy Joe fires a bullet 1 foot away from the bulletproof window only for it to ricochet off the window, off a block in the parking garage, and straight into Billy Joe's pussy.
You fucking bitch! You fucking shot me!
Georgina, speechless, looks on, stunned as the butch she'd come to love and then hate pulls down her pants, revealing a gunshot wound directly to the vagina.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Fucking bitch shot me!
Billy Joe says as she falls to the ground and howls. She screams bloody murder.
Ah! Ah!
As she digs into her wound and fishes out the bullet.
Look what you did, Georgina! Oh goddamn! Oh goddamn!
Billy Joe says as she grabs hold of the bullet and yanks it out. Another guttural burst of shoots Billy Joe up onto her feet, taking quick little steps, hopping all around, running in a circle, holding her crotch, screaming.
I didn't do anything.
Look what you did! Oh goddamn, Georgina, you shot me directly in my pussy!
Billy Joe angrily garbles.
As Billy Joe screams, the sunroof of the limousine opens slightly.
Are you going to be much longer? I got a deadly cancer.
Former President Bill Clinton yells up to Georgina.
This shouldn't take much longer, Mr. President. My apologies.
Billy Joe screams more until suddenly she gets a look into her eyes and screams yet another.
Oh! Oh, my motherfucking pussy bussin'!
As all of a sudden, not one, not two, hell, not even 3, but 6 cucumbers shoot out of her hole onto the pavement. Billy collapses to the ground, and former President Bill Clinton, who has been watching this entire time, pushes the Secret Service agent back and leaps for the bloody cukes.
Georgina drops to the ground and checks on Billy Joe. She's not sure why, though. It was just her instinct. Bill gathers all the bloody cukes into a pile and chants,
Bloody cukes, bloody cukes, bloody cukes.
while dialing Jeffrey Epstein on FaceTime.
Shifty! Shifty! She's not breathing!
Georgina says as she lightly slaps Billy Joe's lifeless face. Shifty runs over to the duo and isn't sure what to do. Help or let Billy Joe go? Before he can decide, Billy Joe snaps to attention, having been faking, and inserts a knife into Shifty's soft, pliable throat.
Shifty gasps for air, only to choke and cough up a tremendous amount of blood. He collapses to the ground. Georgina, frozen in shock, just stares.
Get us out of here.
Bill says with all of the bloody cukes in his hands. He jumps into the limousine and peels out of the alley, leaving just Georgina, Billy Joe, and Shifty Eyes Go Wild's dead body. Billy Joe looks at Georgina with murder in her eyes and stands up, blood still dripping from her puss. She lifts up her shirt only to reveal that her stomach is translucent and inside rests a cucumber attached to an umbilical cord.
Me and Michael are leaving.
Georgina watches as Billy Joe cradles her vagina with one hand and the cucumber they had impregnated her with 10 years ago, Michael, with her other hand. Georgina turns her attention to her deceased love, Shifty Eyes Go Wild, and watches as rigor mortis sets in and stops his shifting eyes from shifting wildly for the first time. Georgina Hicks doesn't eat cucumbers anymore, and she certainly doesn't put them inside her. After living with a semi-sentient cucumber who rotted her lesbian lover from the inside and caused her to birth hundreds of cucumbers over the course of their relationship, let's just say there are other vegetables that she can eat. After burying Shifty on the side of the road, per his wishes, Georgina sets off for greener pastures. Along the way, feeling hunger and a familiar twitch in her pants, she pulls off at a Kroger and selects a large carrot. Hey, at least it isn't a cucumber.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
MMM piss on me.